Welcome back. Here we are, day 5 of the Habit Reset Challenge, and you get to spend another mindset video with me. I know you've been seeing me in the workouts, and I hope you've been enjoying those. I hope you've been crushing it. Yes, they're simple, but it's about building consistency. It's about building the habit, and that's what we're going after here. We're not trying to crush you. We're not trying to set up unrealistic expectations. It's about just going through the process, which I covered in that last video. So for day 5 here, we got a great topic, one that I really resonate with, and I think it'll resonate with a lot of you because it's an inevitability when we're on the path of trying to improve ourselves or going through new habits. That's what we're here to do, build new habits. And this is an inevitable part of that. And what is that? This is common challenges that we experience while undertaking something new and why we often quit when these challenges come up. So, first we're going to dive into what are common challenges you should expect to face. And then we'll go through some ways on how to look at those challenges, how to stay the course, why you shouldn't give up for when challenges occur. They're just part of the process, etc., etc. So we can dive into what should you expect to face as you're undertaking new habits to improve your health, to improve your lifestyle. And of course, these are applicable for any point in your life, a job related issue or a job related, you're striving for a promotion. Why is it so difficult? Why does it feel like Johnny's just so much more favored than me and I'm doing everything but I'm not being recognized? And that's a challenge. And so let's go into some of the ones that you may face along this journey of where we're talking about improving your health, improving your energy. Maybe you want to drop 10 pounds of body fat and just feel alive in your body, feel sexier. Though you're sexy right now, but feel sexier and just walk past the mirror and be willing to check yourself out. So you should be doing that anyway. So expect to feel like you don't have enough time through this process. We're all busy nowadays. Right? We all have a lot on our plate. We all take on a lot. Right? It doesn't matter. Of course, there's gradients to it, but it doesn't really matter who or what you're doing. It's so common to feel like you don't have enough time to take on new things, to put yourself first. And I'm not here to cover how you should reframe every single one of these. I'm just here to highlight what are common challenges with bettering yourself and undertaking new healthy habits, and maybe a tip or two here, right? So when we deal with we don't have enough time, it's really hard to look at how we use time and how we manage time because we just get into a habit of how we go about our days. We get into a routine. And most of us believe and feel like we're utilizing our time the best we can. But it takes a standoff viewpoint, one that's outside of yourself sometimes, to recognize and be aware of how could we better manage our day? How could we better show up for things that are going to give us back time? And why are those things worthwhile? Because they do give us back time. When we do something that improves our energy, that's one of the most important things we can do because energy a lot of the time equates with time. We buy back time in a sense when we have more energy because things feel more easeful, more effortless, and we can tackle things more head on. So do things that give you energy and it feels like you have more time, and it's worth reviewing how you're using your time to fit those things in because they're going to pay off in the future. Another common pitfall or a common challenge people face is lack of motivation. Right? I just don't want to do this. I'm not motivated anymore. It's easy to have the spark when you first start things. That's why we do a 5-day thing here. It's easy to feel fired up. But what about 2 months in, where it feels a bit challenging to keep going? You're not as excited anymore. It feels like your goal might be still a ways off. I don't have the motivation, right? Let's try to turn that motivation into discipline, right? I'm disciplined to do this thing because I know it gives me this, because it makes me feel this way, because it's improving my life and the lives of the people around me, right? A lot of the times I don't have motivation to do the things that make me feel a certain way, my habits that I built up, but there's still an understanding of what they give me, and that understanding of what they give me allows me to push through that lack of motivation. You have to know what's on that other side of doing it. No one ever tells me they do an exercise routine or finish a day of exercise and they feel worse than before they exercised. So remember that. Remember that feeling. Go back to that feeling. We don't always need motivation. Bored. I'm bored of doing this. This is no fun. This is a chore. Well, some things in our lives are chores, but sometimes we just have to look at it with a fresh perspective. Again, what does this thing give us? Or maybe we have to reevaluate how we're doing that thing, right? Boredom's a complex one, but sometimes we don't have to do the thing that feels like it's making us suffer. We can do it in a different way and get much more enjoyment from that. Also, boredom may just be you're too focused on what's to come, what else you could be doing, the shiny thing at the end of the road, and you just need to feel into the moment, into what you're doing, and suddenly you're in a more flow-like state and boredom ceases to exist. Perfectionism. This is so common. Well, I haven't got to this point that I thought I'd be at, or the process isn't going as easy as I thought it would, so there's no point to continue. There's never a perfect path through any of these things, through starting a new habit, through undertaking new disciplines. There's never going to be perfection. You're always striving for the impossible, right? You have to be okay with where you're at, how things are going, and be willing to make changes when needed. But there's never going to be a perfect path to get you to where you want to go. And that's okay. Again, failure, as I said in video 4, is just information, all right? So you can never really fail unless you cease to continue on. So perfection doesn't exist. You're always just striving to do your best. So it's easy to want to quit when these challenges arise, and especially when they start to pile up. Maybe you're feeling a lack of motivation, plus a lack of time, plus expecting too much too soon, like you should already be somewhere you're not. And when these things compile on each other, it's really easy to feel burdened by it and to want to just give it all up. It can also be other things going on in life. We all, again, live busy lives. We have a lot on us. And it can just feel like when you're constantly pushing to add something new in, especially when it's pretty new but not super new, kind of in that probably 3 to 6 week period where it gets pretty dangerous. Of you've started something new, you've kind of gone through the excitement, you're in a little bit of you have some momentum behind you now, but you're in a bit of a tough spot where you're not super excited anymore and you're a ways away from what you want to achieve. And just if something else hits you in life, like work gets busier, something's going on with the kids, it can just feel like this has to go. It's not worth it anymore. I'm putting this to the side because it's not even getting me what I want. And I'm just I'll pick it up another time, or I don't need to do this. And that's really dangerous because that's probably the time you need it the most, right? Because I bet you're about to hit a peak or hit a new high just around the corner, and that's when it's going to reinvigorate you and feel like it's worth it. So when these things pile up, we have to reframe our expectations, understand that where we are is okay. Maybe we do have to take the foot off the gas a little bit, right? Maybe it depends on the situation, but don't give up. Keep going, because you've got through the hard part of just staying with it those first few weeks or whatever it is. You have some momentum on your side. Yeah, you're not where you want to be, but you're honing in the process. So pull back on the expectations. Know that you just need to continue to build up reps, and you're going to be surprised about what's around that next corner. All or nothing mindset fits into this too. So a lot of people feel like they either do it 100% full out, and this can be multiple things, right? This could be, I'm undertaking new exercise program, new nutrition program. I'm going to read every day. I'm going to, all these common things nowadays, write every day. And when you slip up on nutrition once, slip up, I like to be as open with nutrition protocols as possible for this reason, but I ate something that wasn't allowed in my meal plan, or I went over calories again. If you're tracking calories, what's the point in continuing? There's never failure, right? We're just getting information. Notice what caused you to go over calories again, or whatever happened. What caused you to not sit down and write in the morning? Pick it back up the next day, right? Missing something one day or failing to reach your target one day is a perfect opportunity to then make sure you hit it the next day, right? And even if you didn't hit it the next day, don't give up, because that is when you fail, right? When you give up, just keep going, right? Give yourself a little bit of grace. We all do this, and get back to it. It's not all or nothing. You're still making progress. Even if you can't see it, again, that win's around the next corner. Okay? So how do you push through these? I've given you some ways to think about pushing through challenges, but let's get a bit more specific, right? So how do we get through these common challenges, right? We need to reframe how we're looking at things. Again, the all or nothing mindset, if you don't achieve what's set out for you the day, you have failed. These are setting yourself up for disaster. They're setting you up to quit. Anything that sets you up to quit should be evaluated and potentially thrown out, because you always want to make it as easy on yourself to keep going. Even if you have to reset expectations, even if you have to reframe, okay, I'm not where I thought I would be right now, but I'm still on the course and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue on this no matter what, right? That's such a powerful mindset. I'm going to continue on this no matter what. It doesn't matter what smacks you in the face. And it's hard when something smacks you in the face hard. The best of us want to give up. But if you can just say, no, nothing's going to make me stop, that's when you're going to achieve something special from yourself, right? It can also be useful to just have backup plans. So if you just get hit with an overwhelm, a windstorm in your life, and you're going hard on your new habits for losing 15 pounds, nutrition, exercise, all that, and just life's throwing it at you, the kids are sick, the work is tough, it can be helpful to have a backup plan where I can't hit my normal workouts, but I'm going to add another 5 minutes to my walk in the morning. It just feels like meal prepping is impossible right now, but I'm going to pick up a few more ready-made healthy snacks at the store, like beef jerky or pepperoni sticks, and have those by my side, because I barely have time to eat these days. But I have this in case. Maybe you aren't hitting your calories perfect. You're not hitting, if you have a protein target, or you're not getting enough sleep, I'm going to put in a nap in the afternoon, right? Just have a backup plan to make it so you can still feel like you're on course somewhat. You can still feel like you can get through this to see the other side. Okay? This would be, too, it's important to celebrate these things. If this comes up, like, celebrate what you're willing to do and how you're willing to change your frame of reference, and set up a lot of celebrations just throughout this process, right? There's so many wins that you can give yourself a pat on the back for, or even more than a pat on your back. Like, okay, right? Feels good. It's good to give us some like loving self-talk and stuff like that. But maybe you go above and beyond that. Maybe you get yourself that treat that you wanted. Maybe you have a date night out with your partner. Maybe, like, let's say we want to lose 30 pounds, right? It's a pretty lofty goal for some of us, depending on where we're at. And I would definitely not recommend just setting up the win is 30 pounds. Like 15 pounds in, that's incredible. Do something that feels good for yourself, that you enjoy doing, because that's already a win. Like, every point in that journey is a win. And if we only just focus on the weight, there's so many other things we can focus on in the process. But let's say 16 pounds is a win, 17, maybe don't go out for dinner every time you hit 1 pound difference, but there's other opportunities to celebrate. Pick something from the process to celebrate too, right? I tracked 25 of my 30 meals this week. Boom, what does that mean for you, right? This would be recognizing your progress over your perfection. You're progressing this whole time. You're stacking up these small wins, right? You weren't perfect through it, because perfection's impossible. We can hold that up as an ideal maybe, but you weren't perfect through this. But there's still reason to celebrate. There's still reason to go on, right? All we have to do is avoid the trap of giving up, right? We just need to stay consistent through this process. Consistent enough too, by the way. There's no perfection in consistency either, but we need to stay as close to that mark as we can and just keep going, right? I like to set myself, for example, very realistic workout targets, strength training specifically through the week, 3 sessions per week, planned out days, but if I miss a day, I can put that session on any other day. But my consistency is 3 days a week, and I give myself a lot of room to make that achievable. I don't say I'm a failure for missing a workout. I just say I'm going to do it tomorrow, right? Make it so you can make it as easy as possible to just keep going, right? Challenges are normal anytime we undertake something new, right? Especially habits where we really want to change how we approach life and how we do things. Right? Especially when we want to better ourselves, right? These are difficult things to shift our mindset, to shift physical things that are going on in or physical or habits that we're used to doing and that we're changing to change our physical self. Every single one of us will run into challenges, right? It's about not feeling like the challenge can beat us down and making ways to not allow it to beat us down so we can keep going. Remember, everything is in the service of continuing to move on. Failure is just more information, right? It's not a reason to quit. You never have screwed up bad enough for it to warrant quitting. Just keep going. And I love the mindset trick of, if I missed it today, it's completely fine. I'll just get back on the horse tomorrow. And that works with everything, right? If I've committed to writing every day and I miss a morning just because of whatever, right? I get back on it tomorrow and I commit to that. And even if you miss 2 days in a row, which try not to, 2 days in a row, that might be, you get back to it the 3rd day, right? This can work for your meal plan, your whatever it is, right? I get back to it. Right? So I want you to stay the course here. We're going to be signing off here soon. This is day 5, but you have a little bit of momentum behind you now. I know you can keep doing this, right? Set up realistic expectations for you. Have a lofty goal out there, right? But Set up expectations that you can hit or come very close to hitting. Stay the course, and you are going to radically change your life. You're going to be able to look at yourself, and I hope you do look at yourself a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, and see where you came from just because you decided to commit to the process and not give up. And celebrate all those steps along the way. Okay? So, you are awesome. Thanks for being here, and we will see you again soon.